Sure.
Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Town of Rocky Hill Open Space and Conservation Commission regular meeting for Wednesday, April 10th, 2024. If I could please start with everybody rising, recite the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda is public. Is there anybody here from the public who would like to speak on anything that is not on the agenda for this evening? Okay.
Yep. Oh, you got that.
Yeah, yep. Like to go ahead and go to next item, show cause hearing continued. I know that Commissioner Stevens is going to be recusing himself. In his place, we will have Commissioner Beatty voting, and we have two other commissioners out, and in one of their places will be Commissioner Melissa Kaplan voting. So, all righty. If we could, anybody from Meadow Properties?
Probably a new phase for you all again.
Yeah.
So just to introduce myself, I'm Peter Shea. I work for SLR, who's been retained by Red Technologies, who's retained by Meadows Company. I'm actually an LEP as well as Lou is, but I'm also a soil scientist who works for SLR. And we actually have a professional wetland scientist, Matt Sanford, who reviewed the project, and he is also a registered soil scientist. I'm assuming that everybody had the email of the interim corrective actions sent by Lou. I think it's dated March 27th, 2024. I was just going to give kind of like a summation of what we saw during our site visit, or my site visit, and the interim measures that we're proposing to take care of at the site. That day that we did go out there, I walked the perimeter of the wetland area, or where the wetland delineation line would be, and it appeared to be consistent with existing site plans. I didn't see any real modifications to that boundary that's on the existing plans. As part of that evaluation, I also looked for any evidence of a significant amount of soil accumulation or any sediment accumulation in the wetlands. And what was apparent is that they cleared down to within the 100-foot upland buffer for sure. And down before you actually got to the wetlands or the toe slope, about 20 to 25 feet upland of that, or up gradient, there's almost a brush line that was created and pushed around the edge. And on that figure that I gave you is kind of a couple of photos just to show the representative kind of areas that I'm talking about. And in that berm kind of brush area that they ended up creating, that's what actually has captured most of the sediment that ended up running off from the top of the landfill area down and preventing it from accessing the wetland itself. I saw very little bit of, well, actually no anthropogenic or any trash actually ended up getting into the wetland. Everything's been captured in that berm itself. So that's kind of the basis for where we came up with the interim measures. And the initial interim measures is to stabilize as quick as we can the upland area to prevent any more sediment from getting down there, and installation of sediment erosion controls right along that wetland boundary, just in case anything does end up breaching at some point between the measures. It prevents it from entering into that area. In long term, they're going to stabilize the area. Then we're going to pull from that brush kind of berm that was created. There is a good chunk of sediment that's there. There's some trash, debris. All of that will end up getting pulled, plucked, brought up gradient onto the landfill itself and sorted and kind of taken care of without having to deal anything down there. The long term would be kind of a restoration plan, revegetation of that upland buffer. As part of that work, we're proposing that SLR wetland scientists will go out, redelineate the flags, actually hang flags for the crews out there for Red Technologies to know where that wetland boundary is. And on top of that, go up 100 feet and stake kind of that perimeter that would be the review boundary, so that we could really reestablish that buffer that's been kind of in disrepair now. As for the rest of the plan, that's kind of long-term landfill capping, as I think it was outlined in the letter. There really is a thin layer of cover. It's pretty evident there's asphalt. There is no real cover out there. So that's got to get on a long-term solution, kind of repaired and fixed from that standpoint. But from a wetland perspective standpoint, I didn't see anything that was in the wetland itself for accumulation, and the short-term interim will prevent any potential runoff from there. That's about it.
Great, thank you. Questions? Commissioner Kaplan?
I see that, I think the proposal is to put some jute matting and seating. We just want to make sure that the seating would be like a conservation seed mix or some sort of,
For the short,
maybe not a conservation
yeah.
seed, but something that's not got, any invasives or exotics or anything in it.
Yeah, for the short term, they're gonna do the kind of the hydro seed mix
Okay.
sprayed on the upland part. That's where the silt fence along that boundary is gonna prevent anything from ended up getting into the wetland. Because those seed mixes are more of not a selective variety, the way we would do in a long-term solution.
Yeah.
This would prevent those seedlings to getting into the wetland for now.
Okay,
Once that's established and kind of we get a boundary that we can work off of that won't end up with additional rills, that's where our long-term restoration plan, which we have yet to prepare,
right.
will include more of a native mix and an actual real vegetative solution for that, at least for that 100-foot buffer down to the wetland boundary.
When is the spray loam going to be installed? Do you know?
They're hoping within the month to get the interim measures kicked off, and then approximately 3 months would be your full kind of stabilization, and that's when we would start pulling the brush pile back once that's fully stabilized, because that brush pile is acting almost like an erosion control itself right now.
Yeah.
And then in the interim, they're also adding some, I guess he actually said silt fences, but some kind of berms every 25 feet down the slope as well for additional protective measures.
Okay. And then, has anybody been out there since last week's day and a half of pouring rain?
I have not been out there.
I was out there today.
Okay. And everything looks
Everything, just same.
okay. All right. Nothing has passed through and gone into the wetland, or as much as you could tell. Okay. Good. That's
Yeah, I
all.
think that's the one benefit of that kind of accidental brush berm that they
Yeah.
created, because it's about a good 3 to 4 foot high and about 6 feet wide. So it's actually capturing quite a bit of runoff into it. So
Yeah.
accidental.
Yeah. It's good to hear. All right, thank you.
Secretary Kelly?
No questions.
Vice Chair Kurz?
Not at the moment. I'm still.
Okay. Commissioner Brown?
No questions, but welcome in front of our commission, and probably see you for many months to come.
I know Megan's been here before.
Commissioner Beatty?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay. I have no questions, just a comment, thank you on keeping staff abreast of with the weekly updates as directed at our last meeting. Really do appreciate that, considering we can't be out there. So it is nice to get an update as to what's going on up there at the landfill. Dave?
Just to continue our timeline on this and give you just a summary of
Yes.
what was provided in your packets. Since the last meeting, I did go out with Lou from Red Technologies and Peter from SLR on March 18th to inspect the site and review it with them. They have provided, Red Technologies has provided weekly updates each week on March 22nd, 29th, as well as April 5th. On March 22nd, Red did provide interim report of corrective actions. I'm sorry, that was on the 27th, and we did get a summary on the 22nd of March also. So it's been a constant dialogue. Well, maybe not dialogue, but Red Technologies has been keeping me in the loop on everything. There was 2 copies of emails that you had before you tonight. that came the other day. Greg Leichatz was texting me on Sunday afternoon, concerned that somebody had dumped a washing machine up on site, basically in the middle, up on top. When we had gone out for our initial inspection, we saw that there, so it's been there for, I don't know, a month or a few weeks at least. Today, I did visit the site. The washing machine was taken out of there and was placed down by the road in front of the gate. I also noticed today that 3 or 4 loads of wood chips had been piled up top, which we had allowed the owners to do. And to reiterate, back when this all began with the cease and desist, we did not want any construction-type activities or more disturbance to the soils or anything else up there. Mr. Leichatz had asked at one of the previous meetings about removing the firewood that had been brought out, and I believe the commission didn't have any opposition to that, or to chipping brush, some of the brush that, the branches and stuff from the trees that were piled up top. He had asked in his email if he could go up there and also visit, and also to remove the trees and the washing machine, which has already been moved, and also, to keep an eye on the site. I mean, he's certainly welcome to go on his own property. We just don't want to see equipment running around, except for maybe a wood chipper.
Right.
There's, vehicles are getting in there, and I didn't speak to Mr. Leichatz on Sunday, but, I mean, it's his property. There's a combination to the gate. Maybe he needs to think about changing the combination or something if people have access in there to dump appliances. I don't know what else to say about that. Also, following our last meeting on the 14th, I did issue a citation in the amount of $250. With the citation, there's a 10-day period in which they could have appealed. We did not receive an appeal. So no further action's been taken on that right now, but it still stands.
Can I ask a question on that?
Yep.
So this says that failure to pay within 30 days will result in further action, and it's the 10th today, so,
Right, well, the further action is a hearing officer will hold a hearing, or make a determination without a hearing because we've got no response. And that hearing, they can uphold the fine, reduce the fine, waive the fine. So I'll have to schedule.
they have 3 more days to pay it, and
Yeah.
so if they don't pay it, we would have a hearing, or?
Well, it's a hearing similar to blight violations,
Okay.
similar to that. It's, we have volunteers that volunteer as hearing officers.
Oh, okay.
And it's a 3-person meeting,
Yeah.
typically.
Okay.
Could I follow up on that?
Go ahead.
To the chair?
Yep.
So at this hearing, Dave, they arbitrarily could erase the fine? I mean, they could also arbitrarily increase it, but it could,
They can't increase it. They can eliminate it, reduce it,
or
or
enforce it.
uphold it. And, this activity that's taking place, which appears to be pretty promising, we have professionals involved now. The hearing officer may decide, well, they've made a good faith effort, and they could, cut it in half, or not. They could see the time frame leading up to that and just uphold it. It's not a significant amount. It's not a daily accrual, so it's up to the hearing officer. That's the way the ordinance is written, so.
I understand. I just feel that it takes some of our power away if they do not enforce it. As a commission that we've worked hard towards, I know you can't have any effect on what they do.
Well,
That's just my feeling.
It's similar, it goes to Chapter 5 of the Town Code, which addresses citations. Same thing, when I was enforcing blight, I had, many times. It's reduced significantly, and then it's accrued back up. So,
Okay.
it's,
All right, will we get the results? Will the commission learn the results of the hearing?
yes, but it takes some time to get a hearing put together based on the schedule of the volunteer, and as long as it's somebody that doesn't have a conflict with the property owners.
Understood. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Brown?
Just a question for staff. So about that washing machine that somebody probably, because I was like, how did they get there of all places to dump it?
There were tire tracks backed up to it, to where it was.
Right, so somebody actually had access through his gate. Yeah.
The tire tracks were wider than a quad, so I'm assuming a pickup truck or some sort.
Yeah. So pickup truck had the combination to his property and, yeah, let him know to get a new lock or something.
Yeah,
Could it have not been locked?
very could have been.
Anything's possible.
Yeah, so that's on Meadow Properties to go ahead and secure
Yeah.
the landfill so that nobody does get in there and,
Make it worse.
yeah, make it worse. Yeah, I don't think anybody on the commission has any problems with Mr. Lychak entering his own property to, check on it for vandalism, remove anything that should not be there, that has been illegally dumped there. So that's no problem. Yes?
So just for clarification, since our jurisdiction is the 100-foot upland review
Yeah.
area,
Yep.
he could do things outside of the review area.
And that's what
because-
we had said about the
Yeah.
firewood
Yes.
before, because it's
Yeah.
all on the top outside of the.
Yeah,
review.
that's not in our purview, that's under deep. He would obviously have to get permission from deep if he wanted to do anything up there, so, that's on him to go the next step, but we're just worried about that, the wetlands and the 100-foot upland review, so. Anything else? Any other commissioners? Okay.
I'd like to make a motion then.
Go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion to continue the hearing, the show cause hearing until our next meeting in May.
Got May already. All right, do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Nope. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Nope. Okay, we will see you on May 8th. Okay, and yeah, please pass on the, continue with the updates.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, next item on the agenda is action taken, minutes presented for approval for the March 13th, 2024 meeting. Do I have a motion, please?
Motion to approve the meeting minutes.
Okay. Okay. And Commissioner Stevens is back. Commissioner Beatty, we will need you to vote on this, in place of one of our other absent commissioners. Okay, I have a motion, I have a second. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Nope. Okay. Discussion, plan of conservation and development.
No meeting?
Okay, status report, various projects.
Following the last meeting, I had mentioned, or someone had asked about Belden Lane, and following the last meeting and talking with our director, that project has now been moved down in priority on our capital improvement list, just because of the delays we've been having, and we have other projects. At the farm, the site work is done. A site walk was done last Friday for punch list items that Red Technologies is addressing. Some of the trees along New Britain Avenue, arborist had done some pruning today or yesterday, I'm sorry. And town crews are in there to be removing the other trees that were on the east side and some on the south, the trees that were already on the ground, some stumps and trees. Removing those and the trees that had fill placed around them, which arborist had done a tree inventory of the entire site, and those were deemed to be removed, so town staff is removing those. I believe they started out there today. I have a meeting, like a pre-construction type meeting for the foundation for the barn on Monday. So I'm assuming that will, weather permitting, we're getting rain again, but weather permitting, that we'll be able to get the foundation started. As far as the trees that are being removed, they're being chipped in place out there, and some of the chips will be spread, but primarily be left in piles, potentially for use for the community gardens or pathways or something. Kelson Row, the drainage between Main Street and the Cedar Hollow condos, we have a meeting next week, kind of a kickoff meeting on that, because the state's a partner in it, and the town has an easement through there. A meeting on that to get that corrected. There's an interim solution that the Kelson Row engineers came up with, that we can correct the portion across the site for now, and when Cedar Hollow is able to improve or increase capacity of their system on their site, then it can be completely let loose from our site. We can't let it run out and cause issues. Had a meeting today, finally, with the railroad for the culvert beneath the railroad by Brookwood Village and Meadow Road. It's a 2-barrel culvert. 1 barrel's been plugged since the storms in September, and we need permission to cross over the tracks. We're assisting the state. It's the state and the railroad's problem, but we're assisting them because they don't have equipment to get in there right now. So there's a 1 barrel had a bunch immediately after the storms in July and August. There was a lot of brush against one of the barrels, and now there's some sediment against it. So we're removing that and bringing it back up top. We're also checking some other culverts. We've gotten some reports of some other culverts are either draining slow or showing signs of clogging. So we're checking those before all the vegetation fills in for the summer. I believe that's all I have right now.
Okay, how is it going over at Kelson Row with the drainage now with the heavy rains we've had?
There have been no issues.
There's been, okay, good.
Knock
Good.
on wood.
Yeah, knock on wood. Okay, great, okay. Open space,
Nothing to report.
legislation,
Nothing to report.
conferences?
Somewhat non-related, but I did attend a conference on Monday. The American Public Works Association had the New England chapter meeting at the Bradley Air Museum, which was kind of neat. Pretty good demonstration. There was vendors there and seminars, and pretty well attended. I think 175, 200 people there.
Nice. Nice. Correspondence and communications?
None.
And then other business?
A quick question for Dave. Did you get a chance to look into training or conferences yet that we talked about last month?
For the commissioner training?
Yeah, or just any training in general that might be coming up.
I
Free.
haven't been able to
That's
search
okay.
into it, but
Just a reminder.
you know, if there are some, the hydrilla, which is becoming a bigger
Along the river.
topic.
Yeah.
There are some coming up for that. I don't know if they're just online or, I think
Okay,
there was some
no problem.
demonstrations or something in possibly in Glastonbury.
Not a problem. Just a quick question. And then there was one other thing from last time, and I think it was maybe Winding Brook. Was it?
Oh, mine.
Yeah. Did you
Yeah,
get
that,
a chance to?
that house on, not Trinity Ridge.
Woodfield?
Yeah, Woodfield.
Woodfield.
Woodfield Crossing.
With the trees?
Yes.
I did go by there. The trees that were cut were right at the top of the slope. I did speak with one of the owners. The trees were overhanging the house, so they had removed them.
Okay.
They didn't push anything or roll anything down the slope.
Okay,
So I didn't think it was an issue.
okay, nope, that's fine. Thank you for checking it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
There was another one that Commissioner Schweitzer asked me to look at. That turned out to be,
Nothing also?
yeah.
Okay, okay, good, all right. Okay, nothing else? Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
All in favor? Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.